Good morning and Jai Hind children. Now today I am going to revise the chapter Animal Fiber of Chemistry. Alright. As you already have studied in your previous class about the fiber, how the different kind of fibers are used to make the fabrics. Is it? Like cotton, like jute and all. Here we will discuss mainly about the animal fibers. Means the fibers which we obtain from certain animals. Get it? So, first of all, types of fibers. All types of fiber are the different varieties of the fibers which we are using to make our different kind of fabrics, different kind of cloths. They mainly can be categorized categorized two groups. The first group is there, the fibers which are obtained from natural sources. Alright, natural sources includes plants and animals. So such all fibers are known as natural fibers. Okay, and the fibers which are made by men in factories by using certain chemicals. They are not obtained from any plants or any animals. They are artificially, they are made by man by using certain kind of chemicals in the factories. So such all fibers are known as synthetic fibers. Right. So all fibers can be categorized mainly in how many groups? Two groups. Natural fiber and synthetic fiber. Understood? Natural fibers obtained from natural sources like plants and animals. Synthetic fibers obtained from made from chemicals by the human beings in factories. So they are known as what? Synthetic fibers. Now come one by one about these fibers. The natural fiber and they obtained from two sources. That first source is animal and the second source is plant. So the fibers which are obtained from animals are known as animal fibers. And the fibers which are obtained from plants, they are simply known as plant fibers. Get it? So natural fibers can be grouped into two categories, animal and plant fibers. Get it everyone? Now, the synthetic fiber. There are mainly two groups of synthetic fiber. There are many kinds of synthetic fiber, but they can be grouped in two. That first one is nylon and the second one is right? Synthetic fibers, that is nylon and polyester. Now come to the plant fibers and animal fibers. The plant fibers is mainly of cotton, flax, and hemp. So mainly these are the plant fibers because they are obtained from different types of plant, from their different parts. Alright, cotton is one of the very common plant fiber. Is it? It obtained from the fruits of cotton plant. Jute is also another common plant fiber. It is obtained from the stem part of the jute plant. Alright, flax is the fiber obtained from the leaves part and the hemp also obtained from the stem part of the plant, hemp plant. Okay, so these are some common plant fibers that generally we use. And now the animal fibers. There are mainly two groups of animal fiber as they obtain from two what kind of fibers are there. And the first one is silk fiber and the second one is fiber. So how many kind of animal fibers we are using? Two kinds of animal fibers are used by us. That first one is silk fiber and second one is wool fiber. So you have to study about them in detail. In your chapter, it's given in detail how we obtain the silk fiber and how we obtain the wool fiber. Okay, so come about them in detail that these two kind of animal fibers are obtained from two different kind of animals, and after certain processing, after certain steps, we are able to get these fibers. Get it? So this one is the chart that shows the different types of fiber. And now we will discuss about the different steps involved to obtain silk fiber and wool fiber. Alright. First of all, we will discuss about the silk. The processing of silk fiber. Processing means the methods are the steps which are involved to obtain silk fiber. Okay, so that whole process together known as the processing of silk fiber. As you already have studied, as you know that the silk fiber is obtained from a kind of insect, that is silk moth. It looks somewhat like a butterfly, but it is smaller than the butterfly. Okay. So the silk moth lay the hundreds of eggs at a time, and when the eggs get mature, they get hatched. And after hatching, what comes out? Larva comes out. Their caterpillar comes out. Alright. And these larvae or caterpillar eat a lot the leaves of plant, and especially the mulberry leaves. Which plant leaves? Mulberry plant leaf. Get it? So these larvae continuously eat the leaves throughout the whole week or 10 days approximate and get big in size. So when they get completely mature, they release a kind of liquid from their mouth and wrap their body through that liquid. Get it? They start wrapping their body through that liquid, and when that liquid comes in the what contact of air, it get hard, and now it looks small white ball like structure. When the larva or the caterpillar wrap its body in that liquid and it gets dry and hard, so how it looks? It looks a small white color ball like structure, and this is known as cocoon. What is the structure of the silk moth known as? Cocoon. Inside that cocoon, what is there? Larva is there, and that larva is going to transform its body shape and getting become pupa. It is. So the third stage of the life of silk moth is pupa. The first stage is the egg, second stage is caterpillar or larva, and the third stage is pupa. Alright? And when the pupa gets mature inside the cocoon, it cuts the cocoon and gets come out and becomes a baby moth. And the baby moth again get grow, again lay the egg, again it get, so that cycle is going on. That life cycle is going on naturally like this. But we are not discussing about the natural life cycle of silk moth. We are discussing about the processing of silk fiber. How to obtain the silk fiber. So to obtain the silk fiber, the steps which are involved, the first step is rearing. What is the first step? Rearing of silk moth or silk eggs. So in the rearing process, the eggs of the silk moth get collected. Get it? A lot of eggs get collected, and after collecting, what happened? They are kept in proper condition at proper temperature and all, so the eggs can grow and it can hatch. Get it? Understood? So the people who are involved in silk industry, what they are going to do first? They are doing first the collection of eggs of silk moth and keeping them in a machine which provide them sufficient suitable conditions like temperature, like moisture, humidity and all and all. Alright, so this is the rearing of silk moth. Now after the rearing, what is the next step? That is incubation. Incubation is the same, children, as the small eggs are the caterpillar kept in suitable atmospheric condition in the what rooms artificially, means providing them the proper temperature by machine, providing them the proper moisture and all. So this growth of the eggs becomes a larva by providing the artificial condition is simply known as incubation. Okay, and that machines in which the eggs are kept for growth is known as incubators. What are such machines are known as incubators. So incubators are used for what? It is used for the growth of eggs to larva by providing all the suitable conditions. Get it? Understood? So after rearing of the silk moth, their eggs get collected and the eggs go to the incubation process, means the proper growth and development of the eggs, then the hatching will occur on time. So their growth and development will occur, and after the incubation, the next step which is involved here is the spinning of cocoon. Spinning of cocoon. As the cocoon form, then they dip in hot boiling water. So while dipping the cocoons in the hot boiling water, what happened? The insect or the larva present inside it get killed, correct? And the hard covering, the hard cocoon gets softened because of the hot water, right? And the material which is present in the cocoon, they get softened and they can be taken in the form of very thin strand of fiber. It is. The people pick them by the hands, by the fingers, and it looks very fine strand of thread, and that is the silk fiber. Alright. So number of cocoons taken together and their fibers get rolled, spin to get the thread of what? Silk fiber. Because that single cocoon will not provide the thread. It provides a very fine fiber, and that fiber cannot be used to make the cloths. So many fibers get spun together. Then we form the thread of silk, and then that thread of silk is used to make the fabrics or cloths. Get it? So in spinning of the cocoon means that what? Number of cocoons get boiled and their fibers taken out and get rolled, spin to make the silk thread. Get it? Now after making the silk thread, the next step is what? Yes, heat treatment. Heat treatment is there. And in this heat treatment, what happened? When the fibers are taken out, at the same time the cocoons get heated, then the fibers can release, otherwise fiber cannot release because they get hardened, is it not? And from hardened cocoon you cannot get the fiber. That is why the heat treatment is given to them, so that the hard cocoon gets softened and easily that fibers can be taken out. Get it? So after the heat treatment, the next step is reading. In reeling process, what happens? After spinning the fibers into the thread, then they get reeled. Reel means they get wrapped. Okay. So what can happen? We can get a bunch of thread of silk. Get it? And now that long thread, a bunch of silk can be used to make the cloths. So that process by which the fibers get joined together and gets what make the bundles of it, make a bunch of it is known as reeling process. Alright? And at last, the process is spinning. The spinning process, what happens finally? After taking out the fibers, they get spinned to make the certain kind of different bunches of the fibers, and that different bunches can be colored in different color, various colors. They dye in different colors, and those different color fibers can be used to make the cloths. Get it? So these all are the different steps involved in what silk processing. First rearing of the silk moth, then incubation, that is proper growth of the eggs, then spinning of the cocoon, collection of cocoon, after then heating them, then taking out their fibers, and finally making the bunch of different colorful fibers. Get it? And now it is ready to make the cloths. Understood everyone? Now come to the next one. The second kind of fiber, animal fiber. What is it? Wool fiber. Wool processing, the different steps which are involved are, the first one is rearing. Again here the rearing. As the silk moths are rearing, means they kept together and provided them the proper condition for the growth and development, then they can lay the eggs. Okay, proper food is provided to them. Just like that, here the animals whose hairs are used to make the wool fiber, they get reared in the farm houses. Number of such animals like sheep get reared, kept. Okay, food is provided to them, and that food is rich with nutrients, because if the food will be nutritious, so they can produce more amount of hair or wool. Get it? Breeding take place. By breeding, what happened? The babies can be comes, or the new babies can be grow, and which have all the good qualities, long size hair, soft hair, and so these all comes under the rearing. Eating of the animals and breeding of the animals. Breeding means producing the young ones. Get it? Now after the rearing of such animals, the next step which are involved here is shearing. In shearing step, what happened? When the hair of the animals get grow, they need to cut. Is it not? So that cutting down of the hairs from the body of such animals like sheep, like rabbit, okay, is known as shearing. And this shearing can be done either manually, means by hand by using the scissors, or it can be done by using the machines. Shearing machines are there nowadays used. So it can cut the hair in very short period of time. Alright. So the shearing means cutting down or removal of the hairs of body of these animals. After shearing, after cutting down the hairs of the fish, the next step involved is scouring. In scouring step, what happens then? That cut out or removed hair goes into the industries where they get washed, because the hairs are having lot of germs in it, dust in it, grease in it. Okay, so that is why it need to remove them, it need to clean them. So this process of cleaning, and you can say that the process of removing the dust, germs and the grease is all known as scouring. In the scouring process, the big size tubs are used. In big size tubs, water and detergent get mixed together and the hairs get soaked, they are dipped together. Now they get washed with water and then they get dry. Okay, so this whole process known as scouring. After the scouring, the next step is yes, sorting. Sorting the hairs. Sorting the hairs means that separating the hairs because some of the hairs are long, some are hair is middle in size, some are short in size. So these all hairs are going to sort it so that the different kind of hairs can be used in different what materials. Get it now? So that is why sorting process is going to occur after the scouring process. After washing, it gets sorted on the basis of their length, on the basis of their texture, okay, and on the basis of their softness. So on these all basis criteria, the hair gets sorted and makes the different bunch, different groups. Get it? Now after the sorting, after making the different groups, the next step is what? Removing bird. Removing birds. Birds are the small sized hair which are hard. Okay, the small sized hair and getting hard and getting rolled. So it is not possible to comb them. So it's better to remove them. So from the whole bunch of the hair, such kind of birds, small in size and get rolled and twisted, is separated to make the good quality of wool. A good quality of wool will be that wool which don't have burrs. Now, after removal of the source of the hairs, the next step is dyeing. Okay. Actually, when the hairs are taken out from the body of animals, they are not colorful. They are mainly white color or black or brown like that. But we require the wool of various colors. So that is why the the hairs get colored in different color according to the demand, according to the need of the people. Okay. And this process of coloring the hairs in various colors are known as dyeing. So what is dyeing? Simply coloring the hairs to obtain the colorful wool. Okay. And after coloring them, the next step involved in it is what? Yes. After that, the next step is making yarn. Then the yarns are made. Yarns means thread. Okay. The thread of the wool are by taking some of the hairs together, they get twisted, spin, and then we get the yarns. Alright. And again, these yarns used to make the wool. So yarns are made, and after making the yarn, the next step is weaving or knitting is the last step. Weaving and knitting, these both are the process steps by which what is made? The woolen cloths are made. But these two are the different way of making the woolen cloth. In weaving, what happened? In weaving, how many threads are taken together? In weaving, how many threads are taken together? At least two. At least two threads are taken together. Okay, one is kept longitudinally and second thread is going to move horizontally. Okay? So this pattern, this process of making the cloth is known as weaving. Alright, and in knitting, only single thread is used to make a complete cloth. Okay, that is known as knitting. You might have seen that the women, the ladies are going to knit the sweater. Have you seen? So how many thread they used to knit that sweater? Single. Is it clear? And that single thread is going to move step by step, and then the final piece of sweater gets made. So that is known as knitting. Okay, and the knitting is different in which two threads at a time. So either by weaving or knitting, these yarns, woolen yarns are used to make the wool fabric. Get it? Are woolen cloths. So these are the different steps involved in what? Processing of wool. Understood everyone? Huh? So you must have to learn the different steps which are involved in silk processing and in wool processing. Right? Thank you and have a nice evening.